Hey.
Yes.
Pul Speckmann, welcome to 69 Faces of Rock. How are you today?
I am fine today, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good as well. Good to see you again. It's been a while.
It's a beautiful day here in the Czech Republic, about maybe 75 degrees. It's okay. Really nice day. I'm hanging out,
I want to say we have the same thing going on in Chicago. Maybe a tiny bit humid, but still in its warming up stages.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So Paul, Friends of Emptiness, which is this lovely record, right?
Fiends of Emptiness.
Yeah, Fiends of Emptiness. So it just came out. Tell me, how did you put this project together?
Okay, so the actual recordings, as in a normal situation when I'm working with Roga Johansson from Sweden, what he usually does is he'll record a whole album worth of material and he'll send it to me for my opinion. He and I have recorded like 5 albums together under the name Johansson Speckmann. So what happened this time is he said to me, I'm thinking about doing like an early old school death metal kind of record, punk rock kind of meets metal, real simple riffs, just straightforward, not too long, the songs, really quick stuff. And he said, I thought about you and had you in mind right away. And okay, this is normal because we worked together before. And I said to him, just send me a couple tracks and I'll see what I think. Well, he sent me the tracks over. They were completely finished, like I said. And so I wrote some lyrics. I actually wrote the first song in the first 5 minutes. The title track of the, well, not really the title track, but one of the first songs on the album. I wrote the complete lyrics. And I went in the studio and recorded them. I still go in the studio, unlike other people. They just record in their bedroom. I still like to go to the studio just for the ambience of the studio. For me, the studio is really important. Okay. Today, I know everyone's recording online. It's not so important to average Joe anymore. But anyway, so I went in the studio, recorded 2 songs, and I sent them back to Roga, and he and the guys in the band listened to them, and they said they were excellent. And I said, okay, well, let's go for it. So then over the next few weeks, they recorded the rest of the tunes and sent them to me. And like every week I went in and recorded 2 songs for, I don't know, 10 weeks or something. Anyway, something like that. And what happened was this was during I had COVID at the time, which is also very interesting. I recorded all the songs having COVID. I really didn't know I had COVID until a year later when I went in for some blood tests, just for some routine checks, on my old age, and they were like, oh, you got antibodies for COVID already. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, well, you obviously had COVID because you still have antibodies. So that was a bit of a interesting thing. I just thought I had the flu. It wasn't like a serious knockdown, kill you COVID. Anyway, so this is what happened. So then he said to me, Paul, Roga, he wrote me, he said, I don't want to release this as a Speckmann, Johansson Speckmann project. He said, for some reason, people seem to be ignoring the Johansson Speckmann project albums. And he's right. I recorded some really good records with the guy, and they just seem to be missing the public and missing a lot of the critics and stuff. So he said, why don't we try an album this time under your name? Maybe it'll give us a chance. We'll get a little more exposure because people will say, wow, it's the Speckmann project kind of thing, And so I said, okay, let's give it a shot. And here we are.
Mm-hmm. So technically, this is your second release under Speckmann Project. What made you revive this moniker after 30 years?
Well, as I said, that was his idea in the sense that we thought we could try and sell the record. It was kind of a ploy, I suppose, but whatever, it's working. We're getting more interviews and reviews and, critical acclaim, and some people hate the record, etc. But the point is that it's causing a buzz in the underground and in the magazines around the world. So using my name, I suppose it worked,
Now, the initial launch of the Speckmann Project, which produced this album years and years ago, has an interesting story. Can you maybe tell us exactly what happened, how it came to be?
Which story are we talking about? How it got recorded? Yeah, yep. It was recorded as master.
Correct.
With Jim Martinelli and Aaron Nikias. We went in the studio, recorded the album, and Nuclear Blast, they didn't like the record at all for some reason. They said it was too polished. But like at that time, when you called Nuclear Blast, if you got the answer machine, it had one of the songs on there. So it was kind of unusual to hear that. Oh, we don't like it. It's too polished and blah, blah. So anyway, they went back and they remixed the original recordings with Middlebrun and Schmidt that we did in Hoffman Estates. And they decided to release that as master, which is fine. No, not a bad thing or anything. But the point was we didn't want to waste the recording with Martinelli and Nikias, so we released it as the Speckmann Project. And this went on to sell like, I don't know, maybe 50,000 copies. Both of them did very well, both of them, really.
All right, let's get back to Fiends of Emptiness. Can you explain the title?
Can I explain the title?
Yeah.
Well, it's like every record, I'm just dealing with how I'm feeling at the time in my life and what's going on, and politics end up on the record, etc. The Fiends of Emptiness, well, it's a crazy song about what's going on in the world today. Mm-hmm. Society's in an uproar and it's a mess right now, and it's filled with the Fiends of Emptiness.
Yeah. Now, your songs always dealt with social commentary. What topics are you concerned with at this time, or what pisses you off?
Well, obviously things are shitty right now with this war going on, and obviously this crazy American government seems to be in a mess as well. I will never say that I'm like a big Trump fan. That's not true. Okay, I personally don't like any president, and anybody in charge, even the president of the Czech Republic, is an idiot. I'm not a big fan of politicians, but obviously they're here to stay, and we're living through difficult times. What really confuses me these days, and I guess it always has, is that how these puppets like Biden, for example, he's nearly 80 years old. It's like, I know he's just the face of what's happening now, but what's really strange to me is that on the Senate and all these committees and stuff, the people in their 80s, nearly 90 years old, some of them. I don't understand how these people could be making decisions for the world. It's very strange to me. It drives me crazy. I really think that there should be some kind of limitations for politicians. Even though I disagree with politicians, you need to have some kind of civilized society, I suppose. There has to be some kind of organization, some leaders, etc. But I think they should really have limitations, because these people that are so old should not be running our lives and dictating the way we should live. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, you are absolutely correct.
That's my opinion. Not everybody, I'm sure, would agree with me, but this is my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it.
Mm-hmm. Paul, I'm going to throw some songs at you if you can explain them. Indifferent.
Oh, I probably have to read the lyrics. The songs were written over a year ago, almost 2 years ago, to be honest. But I like to, like I said, when I write songs, I sit down, I listen to the music, and whatever comes into my head is what I'm writing about at that very moment. It's a strange thing. It wasn't always like that. Like, I used to worry about researching, topics for things and stuff, but now the lyrics just come naturally when I hear a song. Sometimes in 5 minutes, sometimes I have to listen to a song 4 or 5 times, but the lyrics just pop into my head. And I think it has a lot to do with reading. Yeah, I'm reading books all the time, murder mysteries, politics, different things. I like to read a lot, and these things just come out into the songs. It's like, I know people want to maybe they want to take apart the lyrics and try and decide what each song is about, but a lot of times I don't know what the songs are about, to be honest with you. Sometimes, sometimes I just hit on a topic and I just start writing something right away, right now, from the music, and it comes in.
Would that be the case with, let's say, the so-called tyrants?
Well, obviously the so-called tyrants is dealing with what's going on today. The so-called tyrants, of course. Putin, for example, he's a tyrant as well. There's been tyrants throughout history. That one's pretty self-explanatory, of course. some of these ones are self-explanatory, but other ones just come out of my mind. And sometimes I have to read the lyrics myself a few times to really get what it's about. I guess that sounds kind of strange maybe, but the songs are good, I guess.
They're great. They're great. Another song that kind of stuck in my head is Canceled.
Canceled.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about the cancel culture and all the things that are happening. And
yeah, well, that's really basically what it's about. Everything is being canceled, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, it's a scary situation that everything's being canceled. You know, it's like the world has gotten a bit ridiculous. Everyone is so sensitive about everything. You know, it's like when we were, you know, I gotta be careful what I say here. Let's just, you know, I might be canceled. That's the point, is that back in the day, people weren't so nervous about everything you said and stuff. I don't understand this cancel culture. I'm looking up the lyric here just to double check here. I should have been more prepared, you know. I didn't realize you were going to be so clever, you know. This is excellent, you know.
Yeah.
Most of the time, nobody ever asks about my lyrics, and they never have, you know. This is probably the first time. Yeah, exactly. You're being canceled for different thoughts and ideas, you know. It's like people are trying to cancel everything. You said it right. It's the cancel culture, and it certainly doesn't make me very happy. I mean, whatever happened to freedom? Whatever happened to freedom of speech? You know, sometimes I'm watching these news programs. Okay, I don't know, sometimes right, sometimes left wing, different programs over here on the news. I'm watching on the computer, and they're really trying to cancel everything, man. They don't want you to be free anymore, and that scares the hell out of me. I always thought freedom, you know, for me, freedom has always been an important aspect of my life, to be able to do whatever I want when I want, you know. And now they want to add more control to your life. You know, it's a scary situation. I mean, I don't live in America anymore, so maybe I'm just being fooled by the internet here, but it seems like it's turning into a scary place over there. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Maybe they're fooling me over here. I'm not sure.
I could not agree more. And I think we should maybe get off this topic before both of us are canceled.
Exactly. You got it.
Yep. Paul, will there be any live shows to promote this Speckmann Project release?
No plans on it. I mean, we'll see. It's like I told the Roga that it would be nice if we could get out and play some shows, but at this point so far, nobody's offering shows for the project. They're only offering shows for Master all the time. And I'm not complaining. I'm getting busy again. I've got 18 dates coming up across Europe. I'm happy. I just came back from Norway. We had shows in Spain and Portugal for 10 days, and things are starting to happen again. But, you know, it's still a crazy time. You know, you got to take it step by step. We're getting invited to more festivals and stuff. I'm hoping that Johansson and Speckmann, or the Speckmann Project, will get invited to some festivals, maybe in 2023. I got my fingers crossed. I would like to promote the record live. It would be great, of course.
Yeah, I think it deserves to be heard by a wider audience. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
Paul, you always involved in many things musically. What else is on the table at the moment?
Right now, I just began working on the latest Master album, finally. Okay, the last Master album came out in 2018. It was a pretty well-known underground success. It took me on the road all over the world until, obviously, till the pandemic came and destroyed everything. I had a new lineup with two American guys, which was also great. We got to do a European tour and an American tour for 24 dates, and Mexico twice, and Central America. And then the pandemic hit, and the guys decided to stay in America. So they're still there. So I recently put together, maybe 6 months ago, I put together another lineup of Master over here in Europe. The guitar player from, I think we jammed together like 16 years, he returned. And I jammed with a drummer maybe 11 years ago, when the drummer here went on to another band. And so he's returned to the band as well. So it's like previous members are back, and we've been rehearsing and doing these shows. And now just this week, and actually tomorrow, last week and tomorrow we started the first song. I've written like 14 new songs, and we start rehearsing for a new album. We're going to record probably in September, maybe early October. We'll be ready. But in the meantime, we have a lot of festivals and shows on weekends to play. But during the week, we're working on new songs. It all begins with a drummer again tomorrow. So the next step is a new master album, which will come out in 2023 on Hammerheart Records. I actually have to record a third Speckmann project, let's say, for Emancipation Productions in Denmark next year as well. So I'm busy. And in the meantime, though, really, I'm just looking for more shows and tours next year. I'm hoping to get to South America again. There's talks of Asia and Australia, and maybe one day America again, but it all depends if I can get a decent tour, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I go out to America and we play shows, and we do have success and I make money, don't get me wrong. But it would be nice to go on a bigger tour, maybe supporting someone, even if we're like in the middle of the show. I don't care if there's 4 bands and we're number 2 even, just to reach a wider audience. Now, if worse comes to worse, okay, then I'll go out and I'll tour America again with, 50 to 100 people again every day if I have to. But I'm really hoping that maybe someone will offer a bigger opportunity. So I got my fingers crossed, yeah.
Oh, so do I. I hope to see you again. But speaking of your last time that you were in Chicago, you did a very cool reunion with Warcry. How did you feel about it?
I had a good time,
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. It was too short. It was only whatever. I think we played 3 songs, and okay, I didn't play perfect. I did my best, but I was kind of bummed out that Vince, the singer, came over and tried to get me to sing with him, and I'm trying to play the song. I hadn't played the song for Forbidden Evil in 30 years, and I'm trying to concentrate on the end of the song, and he's trying to get me to sing. Oh, I screwed up the end of the song. I was kind of bummed out about it because I had it ready,
Uh-huh.
I wasn't expecting him to start trying to get me to sing, I lost my concentration, of course. But anyway, but the point is I had a good time playing with the guys. It was a blast. The only thing that bummed me out is that we talked about getting together and maybe doing some more shows, maybe some actual shows, and playing some songs together, and maybe even recording together again. And honestly, I never heard from the guys again. So I don't know. I really don't know what happened. I really thought that, we had a great time together. They seemed to be happy, and me too. But I really never heard from them again. Maybe one time after that. And that's, it's a couple of years ago. So I don't know. I think Marty and Vince have some new project going. They're recording online or whatever at home, and that's fine. Good for them. But I was kind of saddened by the whole thing because I thought it would have really been cool to record some songs together, So we'll see,
It could still happen.
For example, I'm really proud of Jeff, in Witchslayer. That's great. He and I talked, on and off for years, and I kept telling him, you got to get it together and you got to get out there and you got to record those songs. And here he is. And finally it's coming out. And, I always believed in Jeff, and you can ask him. He's talked to me on and off for years on the internet and stuff, and I've always told him, you got to keep going, man. You got to try and get it together and do it. And he finally did it. And you got to be proud of the guy, good for him.
Those songs are sounding amazing. That's going to be a
I
great
honestly haven't heard him yet, but I believe it. He's got some good musicians in the band. He was always a good singer, of course. So good for him. I'm looking forward to the album. Yeah.
Now, Paul, we've been friends on Facebook for many, many years, and I do see a lot of cool things that you do outside of the music. So if you were to describe your life when you're not doing music, what are some cool things that you do?
Oh, I'm an old guy, so I have to go to the gym. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I go to the gym. This is every week when I'm not on tour. We got a few practices during the week. Like I said, we're jamming 2 days a week normally. And when the season is in, I'm out there looking for mushrooms. Of course,
I've noticed that.
But unfortunately, for the last 2 or 3 years, we're not really getting much rain, and it's happening again right now. We're not getting any rain. They keep predicting rain. We're not getting it. So that means the forest is nearly empty of mushrooms. You need rain. I'm always hoping, okay, maybe it'll rain in October or November. Well, this last year we got little or no rain. I think I found maybe 10 mushrooms, really nice ones, in the forest last year, but those were like the only 10 mushrooms in the whole forest, probably.
That's no one. The photos I saw you with, like A lot of mushrooms.
But I'm just saying, last year there was only about 10 in one day, and that was the most I found last year. It was really a horrible experience. So I'm really hoping for rain so I can find more. Okay, then in the meantime, when the weather permits, I'm also riding my bicycle in the forest, which I'll be starting up here soon. It's just starting to warm up, like I said, 73 today. I enjoy riding my bicycle in the forest. I do like maybe at 23 kilometers. There's nobody there early in the morning or even early in the afternoon. Everybody's working. I mean, I'll be honest with you, my only real job these days is to mow the lawn at my house, so the wife isn't angry. And 3 days a week besides exercising, I have to go to the post office to mail out packages. Like, for example, I'll release a new shirt, like I released it the previous Sunday, let's say 10 days ago. And I put out 58 shirts and there's 6 left. So you do the math. I had to put together 52 packages this past week, and then go to the post office, mail them among your other releases, CDs and different things. So that's my biggest job, is going to the post office. I'm busy with that as well. But okay, so you're at the post office maybe 25 minutes, 3 days a week. Life could be a lot worse.
Certainly can be. Now, Paul, you've done so much already musically. What ambitions do you still have?
As I said, I'd like to do a bigger American tour. There's one thing I'm ambitious for that like one of these bigger bands will give me a chance. I got smoked, to be honest with you, because earlier in the year, in March, I was offered a tour with Abomination, which would have been really great for me. And they had a successful tour with many sold out shows in America. They invited me to go on the road. And unfortunately, I had an offer for a tour here already. And then the tour here was canceled. So it was a little bit too late. That was my first really good opportunity at a great tour, and I blew it. But you don't know, I don't like to tell somebody, yes, I'll do a tour and then cancel, et cetera, So I had to stick with the original tour, and then in the end I got burned, but life goes on. I spoke with Alex, and he said, oh, we'll try again in the future. So fingers crossed, it's the right time. In my situation, I have to take the shows when they come, I'm not as big as Immolation. I'm still so underground that it's difficult for me to get on these bigger tours. So I'm happy to get festivals and my own tours because it keeps me busy and I get to do what I want to do. You understand me?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Paul, depending on how you look at it, whether it's 1982 or 1983, but you have a 40th anniversary coming up of being involved in the scene, right?
Yeah.
Any plans to celebrate?
Oh no, I'm gonna go out and play like I told you I've been doing. I don't know about a 40th anniversary tour. Oh, we'll see. It all depends, Like I said, it's unfortunate. Master is still so underground that it's hard for me to get good tours. But I'm not going to say that I'm going to quit because I still find opportunities. And for example, I still get good offers. Like that tour coming up, you saw that one. I'm sure you saw. I just shared it from Poland. There's a big tour, big show, a big festival in Poland with Napalm Death and Asphyx and Master, and they're offering a good fee, and they're happy to have me come to Poland. They're not scrounging. They're not like being goofballs about it. They're serious about it. They made me a great offer, and it's only a 4-hour ride, and I'm going to play there. But there's like a lot of these idiots out here that are offering peanuts. They're still offering money that I was getting 10 years ago. Well, you know what? I'll stay home. I make enough money on merchandise at home to stay home for the rest of my life. So if you're not going to offer me a decent fee for a concert, I pass. Years ago, I would take everything. Now I'm a little more choosy because if I'm leaving my house, it better be a good fee,
That makes sense. It's your job.
Yeah, it's business, for me, it's business. I used to take everything I could get years ago, but those days are gone now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I'm not going to drive to a concert for gas anymore. That's, it's a long time ago,
That's what you do when you have a band in high school.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that I know, but there are still some bigger bands out there that are out there playing for nothing, man, you know. They're still working shitty jobs when they get back to America. There really are some bands out there. I'm not gonna name any names because I know better than that, but there's still some guys out there that are even in bands that are fairly famous or are famous that still have a day job. It's strange to me. I can't understand it because I've worked my merchandise into a living. Yeah, that's my day job. Packing t-shirts. It's not so difficult, you know. I'm not saying it was always that way, but today is a better day for me. Yeah.
You got to that point through hard work.
Yeah. And that's what I always tell the younger bands, you know, you got to work hard, you know. And, you know, I'll say something else, you know, sometimes there's guys out there that they're out there making fun of you and stuff. And I always have to smile. And I always have to say, you know, I'm anxious to see what you're going to be doing at 58 years old. You know, this is right around the corner, you know, life is quick. And that's what I say to the younger guys, you know, keep practicing, work hard and do your best. And really, if you're into this, you know, give it your all. And then the guys that are making jokes and acting like idiots, I always say to them, well, let's see what you're doing at 58 years old, young man, you know.
So finally, Paul, what kept you going for these 40 years? Because it wasn't always easy. I was there for most of the time.
I know you were. Well, you know, I still love playing that music. I still love getting up there. You know, I always say that to the magazines and the people, you know, I don't care if there's 20 people or 10,000 people, you know, my shows vary. Sometimes we're playing huge festivals and sometimes we're playing clubs with no people. But the point is when I get on stage, I still like to hear the tunes. I still enjoy playing the tunes. Okay, not every song, but there's certain staples that I still enjoy playing, you know. I still like playing the song Master or Pay to Die. You know, you would think after whatever, almost 40 years that you know, I would get sick of it, but no, I still like to play that song, Pay to Die. It's like it feels the same way that it did 40 years ago, maybe, you know. And when you're at a big festival, for example, and you hear the crowd singing Pay to Die with you, oh, that's fantastic, you know. Or some kid jumps on the stage and starts singing with you, you know. There's nothing like it, you know, that feeling is just still great there, yeah. That's what keeps me going. I still like the songs. And, you know, I'm still writing new songs and, you know, creating new records and still signing new record deals. I have a new record deal, like I told you, with Hammerheart. That one's for the next 10 years. It may be my last record deal, but whatever, it's a good deal. And they're reissuing all the records on CDs and then vinyl. We're doing special box sets. We're doing 3 brand new recordings over the next 6 years. And I'm happy. It's nice to keep going and be able to enjoy your life, to turn your hobby into a living. That's what I did. Many of these guys out there today, it's still a hobby. I turned my hobby into a living and I'm happy about it. And nobody can take that away from me, you know?
I love it, Paul. Thank you for speaking with me and good luck with all the projects that you do. And hopefully we can see each other again in person.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see each other in Chicago one day again, brother.
That's
Thank
right.
you very much, you know?
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon, you know?
You too.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.